All right, y'all. Today, I'm coming to you very humbly. No makeup, no nothing. I'm just barefacing it, right? Because it's a very serious story time. I still have this on my arm to prove it. I'm not going to, don't try to zoom in. There ain't nothing there that you can see. Let me just get right into it because I just feel like I could have been finito today. All right, for the past 4 to 6 days, I've been feeling a little bit under the weather. Been coughing up stuff. I've been having a slight headache and congestion. And the congestion that I've been having has just been like, ugh, But the main thing was the congestion and the coughing. Today I had it. Today I was feeling a little bit dizzy. My body started aching. And granted, I did go to the grocery store and, I did try to make one trip with about 7 bags. So I was carrying a lot of heavy things. But that was about 2 days ago, right? And today I was just feeling like, oh my God, did I work out? Like, is something wrong? And I couldn't figure it out, but it was getting worse. So my congestion has cleared up a little bit. My coughing has not ceased, but my coughing up stuff has since ceased. And my headache hasn't gone away. Now I'm a little bit dizzy. I've been feeling a little bit dizzy all day. Not really hungry at all. Been taking medicine, and it's been cold and flu medicine. So I'm assuming that was the particular medicine I needed to take to cure my symptoms. However, it ain't been working. So it must not be a cold. It must not be a flu. Saturday, I took a COVID test, and it was negative. Now, my little at-home COVID test, I'm pretty sure I didn't take it correctly, but in the past, I have been taking them, and I've been, fine. It was positive when it needed to be positive, and it was negative when it needed to be negative. So I was like, all right, cool, bet. I ain't gonna worry about it. Maybe it's just my allergies. Maybe I just got a sinus infection that's doing a little bit extra stuff right now. Who knows? And let me get into the horrible part. My blood pressure reader that I got over here, I take my blood pressure just about every day. I had a slightly elevated blood pressure a couple months ago, and ever since then, I've been changing my diet, trying to do things that are necessary to keep it down. Just recently, since I have changed locations, I'm currently in Florida, where I'm originally from Georgia, and when I moved here, or when I'm here now, my diet has since changed. I'm not really as cautious of a sodium intake, so my blood pressure has increased. It went back and it elevated a little bit. At the same time, the blood pressure monitor has been in my suitcase, and it's a low battery. So I'm like, I'm not really gonna trust it too much. It might be a little bit elevated, but what it's telling me right now is like it ain't looking too hot. So today, I just was out and about, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and go to the doctor because I don't feel too hot, and it's not getting no better, and it's different symptoms that I don't feel I'm too comfortable with. Going to the emergency room, giving my information. My daughter's with me eating McDonald's, and they have a little conversation with her. With kids, they're going to talk to whoever if they're having, if adults are like being kind to them. So she's talking to them. The lady at the front is a nurse, and she takes my information. She takes me to the back, and she takes my temperature. Temperature's fine. She asked me what brings me in, and I'm like, I'm having a little bit of I don't know if I'm having an anxiety attack or if I'm having COVID symptoms, or if I have a cold. And I told her I was taking medications, and it could have possibly increased my blood pressure, but when I took it earlier today, my diastolic, which is my number, I think that's the word, but my lower number was 95, and then my top number was like 146. So I just want to make sure that I ain't going crazy, or the medicine that I'm taking ain't killing me. My temperature's fine. She puts the arm cuff on my arm and takes my blood pressure. That thing come back as 146 over 111. Mind you, if you know anything about blood pressure readers, anything over 110, you need to go ahead and go to the emergency room, because if it's over 110, that bottom number, something wrong, right? So I'm at 111. She immediately keeps the cuff on my arm. She just rips it out of the wall, takes the cuff out of my arm, rushes me to the back. And there's people in the waiting room that are still waiting to be seen. She rushes me to the back to the room, and she calls over her walkie-talkie, emergency patient, or whatever she says, room 3. She said, here, go ahead and sit down. She takes me in there, tells my daughter to sit down, and then I sit on the bed. She walks out. Doctor walks in immediately. I'm like, okay, I ain't never had this fast service before, especially when there's people in the waiting room. Maybe they're waiting because they're waiting for family members, whatever. I get in there, and he sits down, he starts talking to my daughter. but he's also asking me questions. He was like, so what brings you in today? Trying to calm me down. I'm like, honestly, I don't know. I said, I have symptoms that could possibly be COVID, but I got a negative COVID test. And my blood pressure, she just told me out there, is a lot higher than I expected. However, my blood pressure was a problem. And that was the reason why I came in today. I'm having a lightheadedness, and I'm having, I'm congested. Bless you. I'm congested, and my throat is sore. And it's been lasting for about 4 or 5 days. And he's like, okay, he's like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how is that? I said, my headache is probably about like a 6. And but my main concern right now, since this thing's still on my arm, and I think I still got it somewhere, but oh, here you go. Let me see it. So this thing is just hanging on my arm, right? I'm just chilling with it. And I'm just like, okay, I've never been into a doctor's office or never been in an emergency room where I'm just like walking around and I'm just sitting and this is just regular. I can see if it was an IV in my arm, but it wasn't. It was this. So then he was like, all right, what's your pain scale 1 to 10? I was like, it's like a 6. But my main concern right now, since she told me that my blood pressure is like 146 over 111, I want to talk about that right now. He's not really worried about it. He's not paying attention to it. He's not even asking me questions about it. He's just focused on my my medications that I've been taking for my symptoms of having, my cold or whatever. I'm like, I'm just having over-the-counter medicines. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I'm not drinking. I do drink wine a little bit occasionally, but that ain't the problem. I was like, but I'm lightheaded. I'm feeling a little bit dizzy. He starts performing this test on me where he's like, follow my finger. Okay, we do that, and that's fine. Next thing I want you to do, put one leg over the other and then push down. Okay, I do that. Then he takes he uses his stethoscope and checks my heart rate or whatever. He says, that's fine. Listen to your lungs. That's fine. Cool. All that's normal, fine, and dandy. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of it. How about this blood pressure, though? How are we going to get this down? And he's like, well, I didn't ask him again about the blood pressure, but I'm just like, okay. He's like, well, it seems like you are a little bit stimulated. What you mean stimulated? Like a nipple? Like that kind of stimulation? Because when that happens, it gets hard and it rises up. So are you saying that my eyes are like dilated or something? He's like, no, it just seems like the medication that you were on for your cold is probably just stimulated you a little bit. I'm sorry, what's that mean? You still didn't tell me what that means. First of all, did you even tell me your name when you walked in the door? I don't think so. But he was just like, oh yeah, you're stimulated, so I suggest that medication probably, it has cold and flu medicine typically has other symptoms or other, side effects that are associated with it that you would take for that particular reason, but you don't have the other symptoms, so I wouldn't suggest you take it anymore. He was like, that's probably the reason why your blood pressure is elevated, but also you're having an adverse reaction to it. I said, okay, so you're telling me that I'm allergic to cold and flu medicine or what? Or what's the problem? So I don't think you're allergic to it. I mean, it does see that you're allergic to sulfa, but he was throwing out the medical terms for the medications and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I can stop taking it. If that's the case, I ain't trying to die. I can deal with a little bit of stuffy nose, whatever, but I'm not, I'm not in a whole lot of pain. I can still breathe. So I was like, so I took the test for COVID, and when it came back negative, I didn't feel any different. Like I still feel symptoms. Like my body feels heavy. I feel like I could have a flu. I was like, can I take a test? Can we do an in-office test? And he's like, I don't think it's necessary. I would go ahead and rule it as COVID. I would just make sure that, you just, since you're on your about 5th day, that you just quarantine for about another day or so, and it should be okay. What? Since when do you just assume that something is something and then I'm just supposed to do what it is? Because you're telling me that it possibly is COVID, but it could not be COVID, but we're going to treat it as COVID. However, if it is COVID, we're not going to give you any medications for it. Then I don't even take a test. Okay, so I'm just going off a limb here, and I'm just going to assume that I'm dying, and I'm going to act as though I'm dying. So you're telling me just go ahead and live my life like it's golden, but meanwhile, I got about 85 years left to go, basically. You didn't do nothing. You told me, oh, it's not necessary to do a test. It is necessary. I just told you I got anxiety and PTSD. It is necessary, sir. Give me the facts so I know how to maneuver in life. I'm walking around here with no mask on. I got a whole kid. And he's like, well, she possibly could have had it first and passed it along to you. And her symptoms are just really mild. But since your symptoms are very mild right now, we're not going to worry about it too much. But how do you know? Other than just assuming, how do you know I just got it? How do you know that it is what it is and it's not something worse than it should be? Because I'm not following you. I don't agree with this. He was like, well, you should just take my word for it. I think you should trust me. I think it's okay. Anyway, He does that, walks out of the room. He's like, well, I'm going to go in and get you a prescription for anti-anxiety medicine. I said, hold on. He was like, this is probably going to be a volume. Oh, actually, did you drive? Shouldn't you have asked me that beforehand? Did I drive? Yes, I drove. Why wouldn't I? Oh, did you drive? Because we're going to prescribe you something like a volume, but I think that, or volume, one of them too. And it's probably going to make you drowsy, so it's not going to be recommended if you are behind a motor vehicle. Obviously, sir, I know that. I'm not going to take it even if you prescribed it to me, though. I'm fine. So I told him I'm not really into medicine. He suggested that I do some meditation. He suggested I read a book. And I said, well, first of all, I already got a book. I'm not really reading it, though, because my anxiety won't allow me to read it. But he was like, I'm gonna suggest a book, and then I'll be back with your written prescription or your discharge papers. I'm like, all right, whatever, cool. This was an awkward moment. This was a very awkward meeting, a little conversation that I'm having with you. It didn't feel like a medical examination at all. It felt like a conversation with an inexperienced first year doctor or whatever. So in comes a nurse. She's taking my registration on the iPad, and I'm filling that out. And she asked me, oh, what brings you in today? Ma'am, what do you mean what brings me in today? You ain't just talk to the man, the doctor, that's your boss. Ain't y'all supposed to be working for him? Don't he supposed to tell you what's going on before you even call me or come in here and talk to me? Oh, what brings you in today? I was like, I guess I got COVID, but my main concern now is just my blood pressure. Nobody has told me how to bring my blood pressure down. Let's go ahead and let's figure that out. You telling me that the machine is broke. Did I say that already? Oh yeah, I don't know if I said it, but he was like, oh, don't worry about that. He takes my blood pressure again with the other cuff. And this one is still on his arm, right? And then the other one he puts on my right arm, and he's like, okay, let's go ahead and breathe. All right, here go mine at home. But this is what he do. So he puts this one on the other arm, and then he starts pumping it. He takes it, and he was like, oh, okay, it looks like it's silence. Didn't even figure it out what he's gonna say. Looks like it's oh yeah, you're fine. Yeah, that was wrong. Takes it off. I'm like, so what is it? He said, oh, it's one. I do see 146, but it's over 86. It's not over 111. So you're fine. No, I'm not. 120 over 80 is the normal. That's when it starts to get elevated. So I'm still above what it needs to be. And you're telling me that it's normal? Bruh, don't do that to me. He goes to the front, comes back in. He's like, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that machine is definitely broken. I don't know what they're going to do about that, but you're definitely not going to have to worry about your blood pressure. That lower number, that bottom number is not right at all. Sir, you're not right. I don't think you're right. You're telling me that she got a high number like that, rush me to the back. I come to you. You don't even know what's going on. Neither does this girl. And I'm just supposed to agree with everything that you say. Mind you, in the meantime, while he's doing all that, I'm filling out the documents on the iPad, the touchscreen documents, and she comes back in with 3 pills and a cup of water. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? I said I didn't want any volume. So what you finna give me? He didn't tell me I was finna take no medicine, but she ended up coming in with it, and you didn't even know who I was, Betsy. So she comes in with 2 extra strength Tylenol and then 1 little brown gel pill, and she's like, that's for your sore throat. Okay, whatever, I'll take it. If that's what you say it is, I'm just gonna trust that that's what it is, even though I didn't feel too comfortable doing it. But you know what, I'm in the doctor's office. I felt kind of coerced to do it, and I was pressured, and I was like, all right, this is happening so fast. I don't even agree with anything that you're saying, sir, and I don't even know who you are, man, because you don't even know me or what I've got going on over here. So what you giving me right now could possibly be something else that is for somebody else, because you even know what room you just walked into. After that, both leave out of the room. He comes back in about 5 minutes later and is like, all right, I'm going to get those discharge papers for you. You say you didn't want any volume, but I'm going to go ahead and prescribe you something that is like a Benadryl. It's a little bit less harsh than a volume. It still is for your anxiety, and it should calm you down. People take it when they're on the first trimester of pregnancy, so there shouldn't be any risk right there. It's all right. I can deal with that, but I don't think I'm going to take it. But you can go ahead and prescribe it to me, and then if I do choose to take it, I will. But the anxiety is not my problem right now. I can deal with anxiety. I've been dealing with my whole life. What I need to deal with is this high blood pressure. And if I got COVID. Ain't nobody explained that yet. Ain't no test been run on that yet. What I'm going to do about that? Because right now I ain't at ease yet. Ain't you a doctor? Ain't you a nurse? Why am I telling you how to do your job? Or is there a shortage in supplies so you can't do the test on me? Either way, I need some answers because my anxiety is actually getting worse now that I don't know nothing. You ain't telling me what the possibilities are because Google told me what the possibilities are, and Google told me that I should just go ahead and count my days because I'm coughing, and if you coughing, you just might have bronchitis or mesothelioma or something. I'm gonna go ahead and say I got mesothelioma. So he comes back. He leaves out the room. Me and her sitting in there. She's cold because you know hospital rooms and ER rooms are like very cold or whatever. And y'all, I know I look a mess right now, but I don't freaking care. I know how to put on, and I know I'm right now. But at the end of the day, I could still slay if I wanted to. What? Who? Me? Yes, you. Couldn't be. Then who? Your mama. So yeah, he leaves out and he's like, girl, I'll come back in with those discharge papers. He comes in about 30 minutes later after he hears me and my daughter's voice saying, we got to go to the bathroom. I'm getting up out of my chair. He's like, oh, as soon as you get done your discharge papers, you should be okay. I'm going to go ahead and print those out. And by the time you're done, we'll be meeting at the same time. I've been done for 30 minutes, sir. Where you been at? He comes back in with some papers, and the papers that he comes in with are that of a person named something Fox. He said, oh, go ahead and sign the date and time for me because you're better at it than I am, I'm pretty sure. That ain't my name. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. That's not your papers. I printed out the wrong ones. Oh, let me get my right ones for you. Grabs the papers after I already wrote the time and date on it. Takes them back outside. Comes back in with my documents. And then all of a sudden, you want to be up all close on me. Now all of a sudden, we can stand next to each other and you can point to the paper. Oh, here goes this right here in my face. And you're just close, not cautious. Why were you being so standoffish and not doing your job beforehand? Because originally, I assumed you were standing over there and not doing anything extra because you thought that I had COVID, so you wanted to be cautious. But now you're all up in my face. So you're acting like I don't have COVID. What did I just get myself into at this hospital, dog? So, long story short, after all of that clusterfuck of stuff that I didn't get any answers with, and I'm still feeling a little bit on the edge, and I'm hoping that I feel better in the morning, because if I'm not, I'm calling out of work. I don't care if I work from home or not. I need to sleep, because this must be a dream. I must be sleeping, and I need to wake up, and if I'm not asleep, I need to go back to sleep and figure out what life is really like. I'm going to go run to Walmart or to CVS and throw this shit away. Get some new batteries for this bull crap, and then take a test that they got because they have them little arm, you know, them things you used to play with, the blood pressure readings you used to play with when you go to CVS and you just put your arm in. I'm finna go do that. Maybe that's a little bit more accurate, because if that thing says if that thing says it's elevated more than 86, which is what he said, if that bottle number is more than 86, I'm going to go back to the hospital, march my little black ass in there, show him a picture, because I'm gonna take a picture of it in his face. I'm going to sue him. And I might not live to see the results of the suing, but I'm gonna do it because my name is Jasmine. My last name ain't Fox. I don't know who that was, but it's just been too much. It's been too much. Then me and her go to the bathroom that's around the corner from the room that we're in, and this paper towel just thrown everywhere. And not only is paper towels thrown everywhere, the door didn't even lock. Y'all wish me luck. Hopefully this little blood pressure reading come back normal, because bruh, we gonna have to go head to head in the courtroom. You gonna have to lose your license, and it happens. I'm sorry to say. I don't even know what medicine he gave me or she gave me. She said it was Tylenol extra strength. I could have got that. I got that already. And some sore throat medicine. I got cough drops. What about my blood pressure though? And do I got COVID? I shouldn't have to go spend $10 to go get another in-home COVID test. And you told me, oh, just wait another day. First of all, sir, I said I think it was 4 to 6 days since I've been feeling symptoms. And you telling me, oh, you only need 5 days of quarantine and for the symptoms to be to not be contagious. What if I got my days mixed up? What if I'm so discombobulated and so stimulated, so you say, that I forgot that 6 was not really 3? You taking my word for it. I need you to take the medical's word for it. I could have done all this myself and saved myself the gas and trouble. I don't even like going to hospitals. And I went because I was nervous. And I felt I needed another opinion. My daughter can't give me another opinion. So I came to y'all just to see if I was, feeling how I'm supposed to be feeling. But no, y'all made it worse. Pensacola, this ER hospital that I went to, I don't forgot the name of it, but I know where it said if I go to it. You did me dirty. You did me dirty, y'all were dirty. You need to lose your license. Okay? That's all I got to say. If something happens to me, I love you all. Bye.